Hello everyone, welcome to the session. In today's session, I will be doing a program to show how to do a JDBC connection to perform a CURD operation. So we will be doing insert, update, delete and select operation with Java code. So this is my Apache Netbeans. So I will open a new project. So let me name the project as JDBC. So once you create the project, you can see the project appears here. Here we are not going to create any web page. So let me delete this web page. We are just going to write a Java code and connect to the database. So today we are going to connect to Derby database. Derby database comes by default with Apache Netbeans. So go to the service tab. If you click, you can see the Derby database here. So first you have to start the server. So once the server is started, so here if you see, once the server is started, you have to go and create a database. So you can right click and create a database. Let us create the database name as DB2. Now if you want to start this database server, you have to run the Apache Netbeans as an administrator, otherwise you will get an error. So here username is app, password is 123. Any username and password you can give here, and confirm password 123. So once you are able to create a database, so you can see the database DB2 is created here. So once we create the database, right click, connect to the database, and here we did not create any tables. So I will just go and directly create the table. Let the name of the table be user underscore details. Now I'll add 3 columns here. The first column is the ID. Okay, so let me declare it as integer and it is a primary key. The second column I will declare as first name. It is varchar and let me give the size as 40. The third column is last name. So here I give it as varchar, size again 40. So now I finish creating the table. I just give OK. Now you can see your table here. Now right click, view the data. You can see your table is empty. So let us insert one row into this table. So user ID 10, first name Asma, last name Rashid. Okay, so I can enter the data directly here. Now I'll go back to my project. I will write the Java code to do insert, select, update and delete operation. So I'll go to the code, right click, new, I'll create a Java class. So let the class name be JDBC. Okay, I have to specify a package where you have to create. So let me create a package called as DB. So you can see your Java class is created. So I have to write a main for this program. Okay, we have to declare certain things before we start doing the program. Like if you want to do a database connectivity, you need certain informations, like you need the name of the driver, you need the URL of your database, then you need the driver class, then you need the username and you need the password. So here I'm going to declare all those things. Let me declare one by one. JDBC driver. So this is the driver name. The next thing I require is the URL. I'll tell you from where you have to copy these details. The next thing that we need is the username and password. Now username will be app and password will be 123. This we have given when we create the database. Okay, so let me tell you how to copy the driver name. Go to the service tab. Here you can see the database we created. Right click, properties. You will get the name of the driver. Here you have the name of the driver. Just we are going to copy the name of the driver and we are going to paste it here. Next is you need the URL of the database. Again, right click, properties. Here you have the URL. You can copy the URL of this database and then you can paste it here. Fine. Now we need to create object for some classes to create the connection. So the first class required is a connection class. Okay, I'm just creating the object. I'm just declaring the object. I'm not creating, so I will declare it to null. So you have to click and add the import the package. The next we need is prepared statement class. So here also I will just declare the object, click and add the import. Once this is done, now we need to load the JDBC driver. Okay, so this is a command to load the JDBC driver. So here I have to specify the driver class name. Again, go to the service tab, right click, properties. Here you can see the driver class name. I just copy the driver class name. So now you can see your driver is loaded. Now this statement will give you error because this statement will give you exception. So you have to be written inside throw clause. Okay, so click here and add a throw clause. So here you can see it throws class not found exception. Okay, so this is the statement that is required to load your driver. So once the driver is loaded, now you can create the connection. Now to get the connection, actually you need three things. One, you need the username, another one the password, another one is the URL of the database. Okay, so this is your database URL. This is the username and this is the password. Okay, so we created the connection. Now again, this statement also will give you an exception. So click and throw the exception. So here you will get SQL exception. So once this is done, now we can start sending the statements for execution. Okay, so connection dot, you have to call the method prepare statement. Okay, so here you can send the statement which you want to execute. So we'll write insert into user underscore details. I think this is the name of the table. Yeah, user underscore details. Okay, here specify the attribute names ID, comma, firstName, comma, lastName. Values. Okay, so I'm not going to give the values directly here. I'm going to pass it later on. Okay. Now what is the first parameter? To pass the value for the first parameter, you have to use statement dot set int. So first parameter is an integer. So first parameter will be, so I want to insert. So let me give user ID is 20. The next parameter, parameter 2 is a string. It's a first name, right? So let me give the first name as Hema. Okay, similarly I will pass a value for the third parameter. So this is the best way to execute an insert query using the prepare statement. You will not have any SQL injection problems. Your program will be very safe, or your web application which you develop will be very safe if you use prepare statement and execute the statements, execute the SQL statements. And you should not specify the values directly in the insert query. It has to be submitted through set string or set integer, so that your application will be safe from the SQL injection. So once you set the values for 3 different parameters, now you have to execute your statement. Okay. So how to execute the statement? You have to write statement.executeUpdate. Okay. So you have execute update. Now this one will return how many rows are updated. So you are inserting only one row, so it will return number of rows as 1. So let us print the result. Okay, done. Now we are going to update this row. Same type of steps you have to repeat, but instead of insert you have to do a update. Okay, so update user underscore details set. So what are the values you want to change? So set, I am going to change the first name. Okay, first name of Asma, first to record. Okay, first name I have given as Asma, so I will change it to Amal. Okay, last name, so let me give the values separately. That is the best method. So first name, comma, last name equal to, I'm going to give a value here. Okay, where what is the condition? Where user ID, where ID equal to, I'm going to give the values later. Okay, just sending an update query. Now what will be the first parameter? First parameter is your first name. So what will be the first name? Okay, first parameter is your first name. So I'm going to change into Amal. Okay, second parameter, I'm going to give the last name, Amal, Amar. Okay, then third parameter will be your ID, student ID is 10. And here you give the same execute update. So it gives you the number of row which is updated, and here you print rows updated. Okay, fine. The next query that we are going to execute is a select query. Okay, so here we did the update query. Now the next thing we are going to do is a select query. Okay, again we use the same statement, prepare statement, and the statement that we are going to send is select query. Fine. Now you have to execute this query. The select query alone will give you all the rows. Suppose you have 10 rows in a table, the result will be set of 10 rows. Okay, so you have to write a for loop and then print each row. Right, so it will give you result set. Okay, so the return type will be the result set. So let me declare the result set. Okay, result set rs equal to, I will just execute the statement. Okay, so we have to call execute query. Okay, for select, you have to call execute query. For insert, update, and delete, you have to call execute update. Okay, so result set is again a class name. So import the package. So once this is done, now I'm writing a while loop to loop through the set until there are records. Okay, so I will just write a loop and then I will print the rows. So first let me print the user ID. So r is dot get int. So here I have to specify the attribute name. The attribute name is ID. Okay, then I will add a space and then print the next one. The next one is the first name. Okay, so r is dot get string. So from the result set, I read the next attribute. The attribute name is fname. Then I give a space. I display the next one, last name. So I write r as dot get string last name. Done. Now this is inside the loop, so it prints all the rows. So that's it with the select statement. The next thing we are going to do is a delete, which is similar to update. Okay, so let me copy the same steps. So instead of update, we will send a delete query. Delete from user underscore details where user ID equal to. So I'm going to set the value later. So there is only one parameter to delete a row. So let me pass the user ID. Okay, where ID, the attribute name is ID. So here I'll give the first parameter is integer. Okay, suppose I want to delete the user ID 10. Okay, the first parameter is value of the first parameter is 10. So the first row will be deleted. Call execute update. It will return how many rows are deleted. Now we have to close the result set. Then we have to close all the connections. Yes. Done. Now there is one more step. We have to attach the driver to this program. So since we are using Maven here, we can see the Maven here. So we can just go to pom.xml file and here we will just paste the dependency to download the driver. So this is your Maven. So just if you paste the dependency, Maven will automatically download the jar file for the driver. Okay, so you need not manually download the driver and attach the driver. If you have Maven, if you're using Maven, just you have to put the dependency in pom.xml file. So here you can see the project files. You have pom.xml file. In pom.xml file, just I will paste my dependencies. See, you can see the dependencies here. I'll paste the dependency here. Once I paste the dependency, Maven will automatically download for me. Dependencies will be available in the Maven repository. So you can search in Google and find the dependency for Maven repository and paste it here. I've already searched for the dependency. So you can see Apache Derby client, and this is the version. Okay. Okay, so this you can get it from the Maven repository. You can Google it and find out this repository. It is available online. Just copy the dependency and paste it in the pom.xml file. So once you save, automatically the jar file, the driver will be automatically downloaded. So once this is finished, now you can run your program. I'll just right click this. Go back to the project. Okay, run is not active. So let me run. Yeah, now run is active. Just I will run only the Java code. So here you can see number of rows inserted is 1, number of rows updated is 1, and this is the number of rows available now. So here you can see the first row is Amal Amir. We updated, right? And the second row you can see the new row which I've inserted. So you can also directly go to your table. Here right click, view data. You can see the table now. We deleted the first row, so there is only one row available now. Yes, so you can see the updations done in the database. So that's all with today's program. So if you have any doubts, you can contact me.